Hello, I'm Tobias, the co-founder of Supernotes, and today I'm going to walk you through setting up your new account. So let's dive in and start the onboarding together. When you log in to Supernotes for the first time, you're greeted with our onboarding screen. This gives you an idea of the areas in life that Supernotes can help you with. Starting with personal, it works fantastically as a daily journal, taking your thoughts from the day, such as restaurant recommendations or recipe ideas, and storing them in a safe space for later. Then you can also share them, especially quickly, with your friends, family, and colleagues. Talking about work, it works superbly well when it comes to jotting down notes in meetings, or taking and recording interactions with clients, or just logging. It's perfect for those use cases. With a traditional notes app, you can often find yourself overwhelmed with a bunch of different notes, having to organize it yourself. But with Supernotes, explore your knowledge in a unique new way and allow you to forge those connections and see relations like never before. When it comes to education, Supernotes comes into its own. It's great for taking notes on books, and also it's a fantastic way to take notes in lectures if you're still a student. Here we have an example of a student learning MATLAB and how he can use tags to quickly drill down and filter ideas. This saves you from flicking backwards and forwards in a notebook. Ideally, you'll end up using Supernotes in all areas of your life, but for now, let's just choose one. Today, I'm going to choose personal. Your messy files and folders are in the past. With Supernotes, we use note cards. This makes your information so much easier to piece together, organize, and also share with your friends if you want to. You can find the help menu in the bottom right hand corner, so try clicking it now, where you can chat with us. There's a help center with lots and lots of documentation on how to get started. There's these video tutorials, that's this. Or there's a cheat sheet which you can open and drag around. So you can find this cheat sheet at any point and it will show you all the keyboard commands you can find in Supernotes. There's a ton to go through. Make sure you scroll down to see everything. You also have the community forum. That's one of the best benefits of Supernotes is we have a really diverse community of users and everyone talks about the new features they'd like. If you have an issue, be sure to go straight on there. So let's choose your theme. The nice thing about Supernotes is that you have 2 day themes and 2 night themes to choose from. Sort of my favorites are deuterium, I really like this, but for today we're going to go with hydrogen. You can also now personalize your profile. This is a great thing with Supernotes is that we have user profiles where you can go and share your Supernotes with other people or just keep things private. But the nice thing is personalizing a place where you go to every day and take your notes. So I've added an image here and now I'm going to add a quick bio. I'm the co-founder of Supernotes. Very simple. Nice. So we'll save this now. Now it prompts you to download Supernotes for your mobile device. Supernotes is available on all of your devices, Mac, Windows, Linux, Android, iOS, even the web browser. So it's perfect. I've got it running here on an Android Google Pixel phone and it runs super well. Try it out. So scan it to download the app if you want to. Finally, we ask you if you'd like to upgrade to Supernotes Unlimited. We are a passionate team of 2 and your support means the world to us. With Unlimited, you get AI superpowers and a bunch of other things, including unlimited cards. If it's not for you or you haven't decided yet, feel free to click Continue with the Starter Plan. So now you're inside Supernotes, you can now see your first note card. We've written it for you. It's called Welcome to Supernotes and it gives you the basics on how to use it. There's 2 different modes. There's a display mode, which we're in right now, and there's also an edit mode. The reason we do this is that we can give you a better reading experience and a better editing experience, rather than try and jumble them together. We've really disliked this in the past with other editors, they're called WYSIWYG, where you're kind of trying to go and make something bold and you're not really quite clicking the right thing and it's really hard to get your cursor out. I'm sure you've had those struggles in the past. So by separating display mode and edit mode, we can give you a better experience in both areas. So right now we're in display mode. You can go into edit mode by tapping the top right, the pencil icon, or just double tapping anywhere on the text. So let's open up the cheat sheet. So now we have the basics here about how to create cards, how to view different cards, the syntax as well. So notice the syntax here, how to make things bold. So I can make simply bold by just going and pressing Command B or Control B. So now we've made a quick edit. We can now either cancel our edit if we just decided we didn't want them anymore, or finish the note card. Cancelling is quite a nice thing, so if you're writing something and you're in the flow and then suddenly you add a new bit that you don't really like, you can just cancel those changes in that editing session, which is helpful if you're writing a blog post, whatever it might be. So let's cancel it here. I don't want to add simply as a bold. So let's now create a new card. So let's say I have to do a shopping list today. I'm going to write that quickly, shopping list. You can make tasks quickly by pressing left bracket, then right bracket. I'm going to get the milk. You always have to remember the milk. Flour, and also I might get some pasta. It's a very simple list. You'll notice that every time you press enter, it will automatically create a list item for you. So now I can finish this card, or I can even say, actually, I remember I have the milk, so I can check the milk off because I already have that item. Now I finish this card, you'll notice that we actually render the checkboxes nicely for you in the display mode. Again, having the benefits of having the edit mode and the display mode functionality. Flour, I'm going to get that one as well. We can also now add some more metadata to this card. So if we double click again, we might decide that actually we want to tag this card as shopping. So if I do hashtag shopping, I can now create a new tag that's added in the bottom right hand corner of a card. I'll get to this a bit later. We can also decide to color the card. So now we can use the / menu, which is what we call the universal coupler, to add different attributes to the card. So if I type in color, I might want to make this a yellow card. Nice. I can finish this card now and apply my changes. Whenever you press finish, this syncs the card to our servers and then to all your other devices. So if you logged into Supernotes in different places, every time you click finish, it will do that. You can also have real-time editing capabilities if you're collaborating with multiple people on the same note card, and you'll see their cursors edit in real time. We can show you that a bit later as well. Go and see additional details in your card with the More Actions menu in the bottom right-hand corner. You can go and like your card, you can comment on it, you can share the card with someone, you can enable vision. This is the paid AI feature that helps you write better note cards and correct your grammatical mistakes. There's something called priority. This is known as the visibility of a note card, and this helps you organize it. We'll touch on that later. You can also locate a note card as well, so if you have a dense hierarchy, you can find where it is. And also you can pin it and junk it. Then you'll also see some details about the dates of the cards. Again, we'll go into that a bit later. Let's try pinning this note card. Press the pin button to do so, or another hidden secret is that you can hold down Alt and press the title, and this will open up the card in a new pinned pane. The benefit of this now is that when you're on the move and you're using your mobile device, you can go and use the Pin tab, which is the second from the right, to view all of your pinned cards. For example, the shopping list from earlier is here, and I can check off the items when I'm in the store. This is fantastic and really shows the potential and use cases of having a fully fledged mobile app, not just a quick capture solution. I might also want to share this. So let's give that a go. You can click the share button and it will present you with two options. You can either share to the web. This will generate a private secret link that you can give to anyone to view the note card. They don't need to have Supernotes. Or you can share them directly with friends if they also have Supernotes. So in this case, I might want to share this with my co-founder, Connor. There he is. You can manage your friends here as well. Just add them with their username. If I click him, you'll see it's now shared this with him. But it's given him the permission of a reader. I want to give him permission of an editor so he can join me as well and collaborate. So let's do that now. He'll be pending until he accepts the invite. So that's a quick overview of sharing. You can close the sharing panel by just pressing the sharing icon in the bottom right of a note card. So let's go ahead and write another quick note card. In this case, I might write a Christmas list. It's coming up soon, and I might want to write a couple presents for my friends. And maybe I'll get Connor a new book, and then my mum a new gardening tool. So in this instance, I have two cards on shopping, but one of them I don't want to see all the time because my friends might be looking over my shoulder when I'm taking notes. So my Christmas shopping should be quite private. So if I open up the More Actions again, I can now change the visibility of the card as we looked at earlier. So I press on priority, I can now change this to be invisible. This will now remove the card from my general view in Home. You can see all your invisible cards by modifying the filters of the Noteboard. So if I now open up filters here in the top left, you'll then see that are not invisible is always being filtered out. You're never going to see your invisible cards. I can either invert this filter by clicking on the icon. There you go, and I can see Christmas shopping list. If I open it again, I can then also disable the filter by just clicking it. I can see all my note cards regardless of their visibility setting. I can also open the filter menu using Ctrl F, resetting it using Ctrl D or Command if you're on Mac. There we are, back to the beginning again. You can also apply filters by clicking on attributes directly, such as tags. So if I click on the shopping tag, you'll notice now that it will only filter down by that value. So if I click on shopping, it removes the Welcome to Supernotes card. If I click it again, it will reintroduce it and unapply the filter. That's a brief overview of filters. It starts simple, but it can get very complex if you want it to. Let's go over the structure of Supernotes in a bit more detail. You've seen the pinned pane on the right hand side, but there's one more pane, and that's the sidebar. Let's open that now. This is what we call the overview of all of your notes. It's split up into 3 sections: the collections, the calendar, and the outline. Collections on Supernotes can be thought of as almost saved filters. You can apply a bunch of filters together and curate views of your cards in different unique ways that you can save for the future. So you can create a new collection just by pressing the new collection button in the top right hand corner. We have some predefined ones for you, such as thoughts, tasks, green cards, and images. Or you can create your own custom one if you'd like to dive in, or import them and even generate them. For now, we'll just stick with the predefined collections. And in this case, we have a couple different tasks we've already created, so let's create a new tasks collection. Wow! Immediately, you can see it's filtered down the home view to only show cards that contain one unchecked to-do list. So I have here shopping list and Christmas list. Now watch what happens when I check off pasta. It's gone. It no longer applies to the task collection. So it's no longer there. And this is why it's so powerful, because these are living, almost automated folders, if you like, of your knowledge. And it's a great way to keep organized. Now let's go back to home. We'll now look at the calendar on Supernotes, and this has a trick up its sleeve, as you may have noticed already. It has a heat map, so it indicates which days you've taken notes. This is perfect for daily journaling. Now, let's say I want to do a daily journal entry from last Wednesday. Let's say that was the 9th of October. So I'll make a new card, the 9th of October, 2024. And in this, I might say, I had a great day, and I forgot to read my book in the evening. There we are. I can finish this card now. And what you'll notice is the day of Wednesday the 9th is now highlighted in the calendar. Supernotes pulls out dates from the titles in your cards automatically. So relevant entries for your journaling will automatically show up on the right day in the calendar. So if I now click on the 9th of October, you'll see that that card belongs there. Each card in Supernotes has 3 date properties. If I open up the More Actions again, you'll have the last edited date, so when you last edited the card, the date created, when you created the card, and also the targeted date. This is the most interesting one, as it allows you to override the date created. So you can assign a card to be on a different day. So maybe I'll say, actually, this wasn't the 9th of October, and it'll be on a different date, and I might want to change this to be on the 10th. There we are, and I've now moved that card to the 10th of October. And you'll see now it's highlighted on the 10th. You can also move cards between days by clicking and dragging the title and dropping it on a day in the calendar. So let's return it to the 9th of October. Perfect. Now if we go back home, we can see we've got 4 cards. This also works incredibly well for meetings. So if I create a new meeting, I might have a meeting next week about growth meeting, and we might want to talk about the YouTube video progress. Here you go. And again, we can use natural language dates to set that. So maybe I'll say that to be the 22nd of October, 2024. Done. And there you go. It highlights in the calendar. Wonderful. So you can also set dates to be in the future using the natural language date in the title. The third and final part of the overview is the outline. And you'll notice now it shows you all the cards that you've written. That's because we've created a flat structure in this Supernotes account. We've not started to create a hierarchy. So let's change that. There's 2 main ways that you can organize cards in Supernotes. You can either use tags, as we've done earlier, or you can create parent cards. And it's very simple to do so. Let's create a new parent card called Meetings. And this will house all the meetings I have. This will house all meetings. Nice. And I finished that card. I can now open this card and author new cards inside it. So if I click on the title, it'll open up in preview, and then I can open it in the Noteboard. Or I can just double click the title here or in the outline, and it will open it in one go. So now I want to maybe write about a new meeting we'll have on upcoming features. And that will be on the 19th of October 2024. And one of the upcoming features we'll have, maybe that's top secret, will be sharing custom collections. Wonderful. Done. So that's just a quick card inside meetings. But now you'll notice that there's actually underneath the title is the name of the parent. So you see we've assigned upcoming features to be part of the meetings card. And if we go back to home, you'll see that the meetings card now, if we open it up in preview, has one card associated with it. However, the growth meeting should also belong to meetings, and you can use drag and drop within the outline or just within the noteboard to rearrange your structure. So if I now find the growth meeting, I can now drag and drop it to be part of meetings, and you'll see it glow green. Now if I double click here in the sidebar, all my meetings are in one place. On our community forum, there's often a large debate. Should I use tags? Should I use parents? And it really comes down to your personal preference. For myself, I like to use parents in this way where I have a bunch of cards related to a certain topic. So meetings or recipes. However, when it comes to tagging, I prefer to use it when it comes to attributes of the cards, the characteristics of the cards. So for a recipe, I might have vanilla in one of them. I might have strawberry, so I can see all my recipes to do with vanilla if I just use a filter to filter down by that tag. And that works the same with meetings, right? So I might have clients, multiple client meetings. I can then tag each card with the associated thing. So here, for example, this is a feature meeting. I can go and do hashtag features. Great, I can finish that card. And then here I can also do hashtag growth. And now I've segmented the two cards within the parent. Parent note cards are also really helpful for sharing. So here, if I was to share this note card, anyone who had access to it on Supernotes would then also gain access to all the child cards. So it's really, really helpful if you're trying to collaborate with people on multiple note cards in one go. Let's now also go and customize meetings a bit more. I might want to give it an icon, so let's give it a briefcase maybe. There we go. And I might want to give it a color. So I might give it a color of purple. And when you customize your cards, you'll notice the icon is added in the cover of that noteboard. So we've gone through a work use case. Let's go through a more personal use case again. So go back to my home. If you're traveling, you might learn about something historical. So let's give a use case of the Roman Empire if you're traveling in Rome, for example. I can then go inside that parent again by double clicking the title, or I can press Shift Space and I'm inside it. So you can actually use the keyboard to go navigate the whole of Supernotes without touching your mouse, which is awesome. Now I might want to write a child card, and in this case, I might want to write one on the Colosseum. Spell that correctly. Awesome, I've got a note card about the Colosseum within the Roman Empire. And the Colosseum is now, what is it? It's a building, so I'm going to do hashtag building. I'm going to categorize that with the tags again. Lovely. Let's write one more note card. Let's write one about Rome. And Rome is the capital of the Roman Empire and also modern day Italy. And this is actually a place, a hashtag place. So see, I'm using all these tags in a way to categorize the cards again. So you'll notice now that the Colosseum card actually mentions Rome, and it would make sense for them to be linked. So I'm going to go and edit the Colosseum card, and then if I select Rome, I can just press / now, and I can immediately go and link to the Rome card. There you go. Or I can go and press 2 left brackets and it will open up the card linking menu where I can now select which one I want to use. I want to use Rome. I'll click to card, so Rome. When I finish that note card, you'll notice that Rome has changed. It has a 1 indicator in the bottom right hand corner. This is the indicator for the number of backlinks to the card. So I open this up, you can now see that the Colosseum mentioning Rome. And there's also a forward link on Colosseum. So if I now click on Rome, it'll open up the card preview. This is where card previews come into their own, because if you're linking between multiple cards, you can actually navigate directly through the card preview, and it's really, really useful. If I dismiss this now, you then see again with the backlink that we've transcluded exactly where on the Colosseum card where Rome is mentioned. So really helpful if you have a card that's being mentioned in multiple places. I'm going to collapse this now. So now we have a couple different concepts. You see the outline has gone from being a flat structure to being a hierarchical structure. So the final thing to go over is the Noteboard options menu. Your Noteboard is in the middle here. And if you tap in the top left-hand corner on Home or whatever the view you're looking at, you'll open up the Noteboard options. And this gives you an array of different ways to see your knowledge. So currently we're seeing all your cards as a list, but you can change this so you can see your cards as a broadsheet. This looks even better when you collapse the sidebar. Wow, you can see everything we've done today. But if I open up the sidebar again, and I can go and click the next option, which is the graph view. So this is now just a very small, simple graph view, but you can see how you're starting to link and connect things together. So you see you have the meetings card here, the Roman Empire, and you'll notice that there's a dotted line going between Colosseum and Rome. The dotted lines indicate links, and the straight lines indicate hierarchical parent-child relationships. So very simple here, but this can expand to thousands and thousands of cards, and you can have a very densely populated knowledge hierarchy soon. If I open up the Noteboard options again, you'll see we can display cards as standard, we can display them as minimized, or if you have lots of information, you can also display them as maximized. If you go over a certain number of characters in Supernotes, we try and make the cards look a bit shorter in the feed so you can flick through them easier. You can also change the sort order of your cards, so you might want to order them by alphabetical order rather than recent, but we prefer to keep it to recent and home especially, because then you can see new cards that you've synced recently. You can also import, export, or print all your cards at any time. Printing on Supernotes is really comprehensive. You can go and just print the current view or the focused card, or if you're inside a parent, you could also print the parent card itself as well. The final two options are the seamless mode. You can click this to remove all the seams on the cards. This is better if you're writing something more long form, like a blog post, and you've written different parts of the blog post as different cards, and you're trying to reorganize them to see how they fit together. You can then use seamless view to see that more clearly. You can also use multi-select mode, so once you have a bunch of cards, you can go and select a couple different ones. So maybe I want to select Colosseum and Rome, and I want to say that modify this, and I want to maybe give them a color of purple. I can then add the shared color purple. So you can add bulk changes to multiple cards in one click. So now we have a few cards. You can also want to navigate between your cards more quickly, and you can do that using the universal search. So you'll find the search on the left-hand side over here. If you click this, you can open up the universal search. You can also use Control-K or Command-K to bring this menu up. So if I type in Rome, I can then see all my Rome cards that I was talking about earlier. Our search is very comprehensive. It searches the title, the body, everything, and it will display the most relevant results for you. Or if I wanted to find that meeting on growth from earlier, there we go. You can press enter to bring up the card in preview, and you can repeat the same process if you want to go back. The universal search is very comprehensive. It doesn't just search your cards, it also works really well for commands. So I might want to toggle night mode, there we go, and I might want to toggle back. Really fast. You can even jump to a specific day using the universal search. So if I press Command K, and I might want to say the 22nd of October, so I have that meeting then, so I maybe write the full thing. There we go. 27th of October, I can jump to that day and I can immediately find it. So really helpful again to go between all of your different places inside Supernotes. Now let's jump to home using Command Shift H or Control Shift H. There's only a few more things to go over. So you'll find in the bottom left-hand corner, there's a few more buttons. You have your notifications button, which notifies you of new friend requests. And in this instance, I have a new notification. So if I open this now, you'll notice that my co-founder Connor has invited me to the Detroit pizza card. I can now click this and I can either accept the invitation or I can decline it. If I accept the invitation, I can then collaborate with him on the card. But for now, I'm just going to dismiss this and save it for later. Then we also have the user menu, and this is where you can go and change your settings, you can invite new friends, you can also add a promo code, or most interesting, you can earn more cards using our achievement system. And this is designed to help you get started with Supernotes, such as adding tags to your cards, creating a hierarchy, like we've done today. If you're confused or need some more help on how to complete a challenge, you can always click it and it'll open up a quick demonstration on how to do that. Finally, what about those cards that are no longer useful to you, such as ones you've completed or ones just aren't relevant anymore? If we scroll down, you'll notice we have the shopping list from earlier. You can go and right click on the card and then press junk. When you junk a card, it'll give you an option to restore it, but in this case we want to actually delete it, so let's go into junk. And you'll notice that you're presented with two options on a note card. When you have multiple junk cards, it can be a bit tedious to go through each one and press delete. So we've designed a quick menu inside junk Noteboard's options to go and empty it in one swift click. It will pop up a confirmation and you can confirm that by pressing empty junk. Now I have 0 cards in my junk, I can go back to home. There you go. That was a brief introduction to Supernotes. There's lots more that Supernotes can do. We have integrations with Raycast, there's loads of pro features such as multi-cursor support. We also have the sharing features which we haven't even barely touched on today. But all of this and more will be covered in later videos. Let me know what you're using Supernotes for down below in the comments. And if you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, it helps us a lot. See you all in the next one.